Hello, and welcome to Art Minutes. I'm Patricia Tomlinson, curator at the Appleton Museum of Art. Today, I would like to introduce you to a very important portrait in our permanent collection, painted by the renowned artist Thomas Sully. I want to talk about Sully a little bit before I go into the details of the actual portrait. Thomas Sully was actually born in England, but emigrated with his parents, who were actors, to the United States in 1792 when he was 9 years old. Eventually, the family settled in Charleston, South Carolina, and interestingly, young Thomas Sully actually performed with his family on stage at that time. Eventually, Thomas Sully decided to be a painter. His elder brother Lawrence was a miniaturist, and Sully decided to follow in his footsteps. This eventually led him to settle in the city of Philadelphia, where he became known as one of the premier portraitists for society ladies and other important people. He became so famous, in fact, that in 1837 he traveled to Great Britain and painted the young Queen Victoria. All of this information points to the fact that the sitter in this portrait, Hannah Holly Bell Rogers, family was of the means to hire one of the premier portraitists, and they were an important family and wanted to highlight their family's importance and status in society. Let's look more closely at this painting. What we see is a young woman slightly off-center, wearing a very simple black dress with a lace shawl wrapped around her left arm. Her hair is in little ringlets that frame her face, and the background of the painting is really quite simple. There you see something that suggests the appearance of clouds, but it's really sort of unclear, and that is the point of this. Thomas Sully was known for his paintings that really focused on the individuals. Occasionally, he had the suggestion of a tree or some kind of background material, but predominantly he painted very simple backgrounds because he wanted to focus on the individuals in the portraits. I also want to note that you should not let the seemingly simplistic dress of this young woman fool you. Her clothing is the height of fashion during the Regency era, and that's roughly from 1800 to 1825. She is at the height of fashion, and one of the things I also want to focus on is the lace shawl that she has draped around her arm. When we look more closely at this, it appears to be Brussels lace, and Brussels lace was extremely expensive, obviously imported, and the fact she has a great mass of it pooled around her arm as if it is some kind of cloak or shawl points to the fact that she is a wealthy individual from a wealthy family. It also points to her good taste because she doesn't need all the ostentatious jewelry and fancy items to highlight her beauty and her status. She's in an elegant velvet dress. She has a beautiful, expensive Brussels lace shawl. So it also is a marker of the family's good taste and good breeding. Another thing I wanted to focus on is the beautiful tones with which Thomas Sully paints the sitter's skin. She has the lovely, fair skin that was so in vogue at the time, and her cheeks have just the merest hint of a rosy glow to highlight her youth and freshness. Now, of course, we know most portraits are highly idealized, so we really don't know how this sitter actually looked. But nonetheless, it is a very beautiful, important painting, whether or not it accurately displays the sitter. Another interesting fact that I wanted to mention is this painting was gifted to the Appleton Museum of Art by an ancestor of Hannah Holly Bell Rogers. Ada Bell Winthrop King was a direct descendant of this young woman. So I find it very special that we are able to highlight and honor this family by caring for and preserving their artwork. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to sharing more Art Minutes with you soon. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.